Okay, welcome to the surface area of prisms unit. First we're going to have to talk about the shapes that we are going to be dealing with. Those are the prisms. And a prism is a polyhedron, which we know is a three-dimensional shape with two congruent parallel sides called bases, and the other sides are called lateral faces. So when we look at this first shape here on the left, it has bases that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. And we know that a shape with 5 sides is called a pentagon. So that's actually why this is called a pentagonal prism. And these are the bases because they are the exact same shape and they are parallel to one another. So not all prisms will this be so easy for us to see, but if we look to the right, this one is a triangular prism, and these are our two bases because they are the same shape, they are triangles, and they are parallel to one another. But if I were to take these shapes and rotate them, so let's see, I rotated them, move this down a bit, these would still be our bases because these are the two shapes that are the same and they are parallel to one another. So although we rotated the shape, those would continue to be our bases. So let's move on to the altitude of a prism. Now we've heard of the altitude before, but the altitude of a prism is the perpendicular segment, which we know perpendicular creates 90-degree angles that joins the planes of the bases. So that altitude joins one base to the other base. The height of the prism is the length of the altitude. So really, why is this important for us to know? Because in our last unit, when we were learning about the different shapes and using our reference sheet to calculate the area of shapes such as a triangle, we had to know the height of those shapes. But now that we are talking about three-dimensional shapes, we have to use the height to find the entire area. So when we talk about the altitude, the height is the measure of the altitude and it connects those two bases. Now in this one, in a right prism, we have our base on top here, and on the bottom they are parallel to one another, and the height creates a perpendicular angle and joins the two bases. Same over here with an oblique prism. It still connects the two bases. These are not rectangular prisms over here because not all sides are rectangular, but the height still connects the two bases which are parallel to one another. So let's use this information and what we learned in the previous unit to do an example. So this example says find the surface area of the following prism. So first of all, we ask ourselves, what type of prism is this? We can very easily identify this. It is a triangular prism because the two bases, which are parallel to one another, are triangular. So this is a triangular prism. Let's see if we can add this in here. From the last unit, you should be able to tell me the area for a triangle. So we're going to use that later on. But when we calculate the surface area of a prism, we first have to calculate the area of the base. And in this case, the base is a triangle, so we're going to use the area of a triangle formula. And then multiply it by the height. So this is how you would find the area of a prism. Area of the prism equals capital B times H. Now that capital B means the area of the base. So for any prism, you're going to find the area of the base and then multiply it by the height. So how are we going to find the area of the base? It is a triangle. So as we know from our reference formula sheet, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So in this case, the base of the triangle is 3. So it's going to be 1/2 0.5 times 3. times the height 4. So that's going to give us 6. The area of our triangular base is 6. We are going to apply that back into the prism, area of a prism. The area of the base is 6 times the height of that prism is also 6. So the surface area of this entire prism is 36. So the rule for all prisms is to find the area of the base. If it were a square, you would do length times width to find the area of that base, and then multiply it by the height. The height is what connects the two parallel bases. Great job. We will do some more practice following this video.